A mother leaves her baby in a smoke-filled room and calls it normal. But the real question is, what matters more, clout or her child? Every time her son is with her, he looks asleep, too asleep. People believe she's giving him melatonin. But is that rumor or reality? Love, partying, and parenting, can you balance all three? Looking at Chrisean's life, the answer seems painfully clear: no. People say Chrisean lives for drama and men, but the heartbreaking part? Her baby Junior is falling behind, and nobody can ignore it anymore. When a mother dumps her child on family so she can chase parties and fights, people call it gossip. But this isn't gossip, it's a child's future on the line. Blueface is in jail, Chrisean is chasing clout, and caught in the middle? A baby who never asked for this chaos. The question is, who's protecting him? Lately, people online have been talking about how Cash left her baby with Bino during a smoke-filled session. On top of that, Chrisean also left her son, Junior, with Bino, someone she barely knows, surrounded by strangers. Every time Chrisean is supposed to be watching her child, he always seems to be asleep, and many believe she gives him melatonin just to keep him quiet. Meanwhile, Chrisean's personal life feels just as messy. She says she's single, but her relationships play out like never-ending storylines. Bino seems more like a temporary distraction than a partner anyone can take seriously. For those unfamiliar, Chrisean, better known online, rose to fame through her relationship with rapper Blueface. Their romance has always been on and off, and while Blueface is currently in jail, their drama continues to spill over. Chrisean has often clashed with his first baby mother, almost as if she wanted to prove she was the better woman by having a child with him. But many argue she hasn't lived up to that claim. Critics point out that while she was pregnant, she continued partying, smoking, and drinking. Now, her baby is reportedly behind in development, and people blame her choices during pregnancy. Instead of focusing on giving her child the help he needs, something she has the money to do, Chrisean is often seen out partying with her new boyfriend, Bino. The relationship between Chrisean and Bino has been questionable from the very beginning. For many, it was hard to understand why she even entertained him in the first place. He has embarrassed her multiple times, posting private and intimate moments online that should have never left the confines of their relationship. Despite being humiliated in front of the world, she still allowed him into her personal life, and worse, she trusted him enough to watch her baby. That decision has left many people shaking their heads, asking the same pressing question: why would any mother leave her child with someone she barely knows, especially a man with a troubling reputation? The internet has been flooded with clips and live streams showing their dysfunction. One moment, Chrisean and Bino are affectionate. The next, they are shouting at each other while Junior is caught somewhere in the background. What makes it more concerning is how Chrisean seems to normalize the chaos, as if the instability of their relationship is just another part of her lifestyle. Instead of protecting her child from it, she continues to bring Junior into these messy, unpredictable situations. Recently, Chrisean took things even further when she joined an Instagram live to argue with Bino's other baby mothers. Instead of stepping away from the drama, she inserted herself right in the middle of it. On that live, she told them to focus on their own children and stay out of her business with Bino. But the irony of her words was not lost on viewers, especially since her own family has been stepping up to care for Junior in her absence. Her sisters, who have been the ones providing the stability Junior desperately needs, have reached their breaking point. They have openly said they are exhausted from doing everything for him while Chrisean continues to party and chase relationships. They've sacrificed their own time, energy, and resources to make sure the child has some sense of normalcy. But they can only do so much without the financial and emotional support that should be coming from his mother. Their frustration has been boiling over, and they've begun speaking out, making it clear they cannot keep carrying this responsibility on their own. This situation has sparked larger conversations online about responsibility, motherhood, and priorities. While everyone understands that parenting is difficult and overwhelming, the frustration comes from seeing someone repeatedly put their own desires above their child's needs. Critics argue that Chrisean's actions show a lack of accountability. Instead of taking charge of her son's well-being, she diverts her energy into Instagram battles, public feuds, and toxic romances. For many, this behavior reflects a dangerous pattern. Rather than facing the realities of being a mother, she distracts herself with attention from men, online clout, and reckless decisions. Each time she goes live to argue with strangers or appears in videos that highlight her partying instead of parenting, she reinforces the narrative that Junior is not her priority. And with every viral moment, the judgment against her grows stronger. The saddest part is that Junior's welfare seems to be slipping through the cracks. According to family members and online commentary, he is already struggling developmentally and needs specialized care. That type of support requires not only money but commitment, consistency, and patience, all of which should come from his mother. Yet, while Chrisean has the resources to provide it, she appears unwilling to follow through. Instead, her sisters are left trying to pick up the pieces, often without enough help to do it properly. The public embarrassment she endures from her relationships only makes matters worse. When Bino shared private moments online, he stripped away whatever dignity remained in their partnership. It was clear that he cared more about exposure and clout than respecting her as a partner or a mother. And still, she chose to keep him close. That choice alone raised eyebrows, but when she left her son in his care, people began to worry about Junior's safety. What makes the entire situation even more troubling is the cycle it creates. Chrisean seeks validation through chaotic relationships. Those relationships crumble and humiliate her. She responds by chasing attention online, which only adds fuel to the fire of criticism. In the meantime, her son is caught in the middle of all this instability, lacking the steady, nurturing environment every child deserves. Her sister's exhaustion should serve as a wake-up call. They have done their best to step in as caregivers, but their frustration proves one thing: no one can replace a child's mother. Support systems can help, but at the end of the day, the responsibility rests on Chrisean's shoulders. Until she chooses to put Junior above everything else, the cycle will keep repeating. The conversation surrounding Chrisean isn't just gossip, it's a reflection of a deeper issue. Parenting demands sacrifice. It demands putting someone else's needs before your own, no matter how difficult it may be. When a parent fails to do that, the child suffers the consequences. People online aren't just criticizing for the sake of being harsh. They are pointing out patterns of neglect that could have lifelong effects on Junior. In the end, the path forward is clear, even if Chrisean doesn't see it yet. She must step away from toxic relationships, stop entertaining drama that doesn't benefit her, and focus fully on her child. Junior needs her present, sober, and committed. Until she makes that choice, her reputation will continue to sink, and the people who truly suffer will not be her critics, but her son. Chrisean's story is one that continues to frustrate both her family and the public. Time and again, she finds herself pulled into conflicts that don't truly belong to her. Still, instead of pausing to reflect on her role in the chaos, she doubles down and inserts herself further. Recently, one of Bino's other baby mothers openly confronted her, questioning why Chrisean spends so much energy fighting battles that have nothing to do with her. The criticism stung because it carried undeniable truth. While the other women's children are reportedly thriving, Junior is falling behind in ways that cannot be ignored. The contrast is painful, and it forces people to ask, where exactly are Chrisean's priorities? For many observers, the situation is no longer about petty arguments, clout chasing, or even her messy relationship with Bino. At its core, the issue is far more serious. It's about responsibility. Raising a child is not something that can be pushed aside for convenience or treated like a side role while chasing parties and attention online. Children require stability, patience, and care, things Junior desperately needs, but according to those closest to the situation, isn't consistently receiving from his mother. What makes the criticism so loud is the visible gap between what Chrisean says and what she does. On social media, she insists that she loves her son and wants the best for him. Yet, her actions often tell another story. Instead of investing time into his development or creating an environment where he can thrive, she seems more concerned with appearances, arguing on Instagram Live, defending relationships that bring her more pain than peace, and engaging in drama that drains her energy. The reality is harsh but unavoidable. No amount of likes, comments, or fleeting attention can replace the day-to-day effort required to raise a child. Parenting is not glamorous work. It doesn't come with applause or instant gratification. It requires sacrifice, consistency, and a willingness to put someone else's needs above your own. That's where many feel Chrisean is falling short. Her critics argue that Junior deserves more than being a footnote in her story. He deserves to be the center of it. At his young age, the foundation for his growth is being laid. Every day matters, every interaction matters, and every choice she makes directly affects his future. While other children his age are reportedly hitting milestones, walking, talking, and learning to navigate the world, Junior is struggling. Those struggles require attention, therapy, and structured care. They require a mother who is present and focused, not one distracted by public feuds. This is where the conversation shifts from gossip to something much deeper. People aren't just judging Chrisean because she's young or imperfect. They're raising concerns because a child's well-being is at stake. Neglect, even if unintentional, has lasting effects. When parents fail to provide stability, children are left to navigate challenges without the tools they need to succeed. And when family members step in, as Chrisean's sisters have, it can only go so far. They're already expressing exhaustion and frustration, a clear sign that the burden is becoming too heavy for them to carry alone. The heartbreaking part is that the cycle Chrisean finds herself in is one she could break if she truly wanted to. The solution isn't complicated, but it does require discipline. She has to step back from the spotlight, from the constant need for validation, and focus inward. Self-discipline, in this case, isn't just about avoiding parties or cutting off toxic relationships. It's about building routines, creating stability, and learning to say no to distractions that don't serve her or her child. Genuine self-love also plays a major role here. Many people mistake self-love for indulgence, treating yourself, chasing fun, or demanding attention. But real self-love often looks like tough choices. It's setting boundaries, creating a vision for your life, and refusing to let chaos dictate your path. For Chrisean, practicing self-love would mean acknowledging that Junior's needs are more important than temporary entertainment or online clout. It would mean realizing that her legacy will not be measured by Instagram followers, but by the well-being of the child who depends on her. Until those lessons sink in, the cycle will likely continue. The drama, the exhaustion, the criticism, it will all repeat itself. And each time, Junior will be the one who suffers the most. He will continue to grow up in an environment where he feels secondary, where his needs are overshadowed by conflict and neglect. That is the reality people are desperately hoping she avoids. There is still time for Chrisean to change the narrative. Parenthood is not about perfection, it's about growth and responsibility. Every parent makes mistakes, but what matters is whether they learn from them and rise to the occasion. If Chrisean can make the conscious choice to step into her role fully, to build a healthier environment for Junior, and to show up with consistency, she could silence her critics and, more importantly, give her son the life he deserves. But as long as accountability is avoided and energy is wasted on drama, the same story will keep unfolding. Chrisean will continue to be known not for her growth, but for her chaos. And Junior, the innocent child in the middle, will continue to be the one paying the price. I'll be honest, I had never even heard of this guy, Khan, before his name started popping up in all this mess. If it weren't for the constant drama surrounding him and Chrisean, I doubt most people would have either. His music isn't what's pulling attention, it's the chaos. And the sad part is, for Chrisean, it almost feels like she treats the situation as nothing more than entertainment. To her, it looks like a game, a distraction, maybe even a move to poke at Blueface and keep her name buzzing. But from the outside looking in, it doesn't come across as clever or strategic, it comes across as messy. Messy and, honestly, irresponsible. Because no matter how much people want to debate her love life or the headlines around her name, one truth cuts through all of it: she is a mother first. At least, she should be. And right now, that instinct, that natural pull to protect and prioritize her child, just doesn't seem to be showing. People can argue that everyone makes mistakes, that no parent is perfect, and that young mothers especially face challenges. And that's true. But the difference here is that instead of learning from the criticism or showing growth, Chrisean seems to double down on behaviors that make things worse. Whether it's hopping online to argue with strangers, letting private drama spill into public spaces, or leaving her son in questionable situations, the pattern is clear. The attention she's chasing is coming at the expense of her own reputation and, more importantly, her child's well-being. When you strip away all the noise, the real issue isn't Khan, or Blueface, or any of the other names that pop in and out of her story. The issue is focus. Who has her focus, and what is she pouring her energy into? Right now, it looks like the answer is everything but her son. And that's why so many people watching from the sidelines feel frustrated. It's not about being judgmental for the sake of gossip. It's about genuine concern for a child caught in the middle of chaos he never asked for. What makes it worse is that this cycle feels familiar. We've seen it before with others in the spotlight, people who let the drama consume them until the only thing they're known for is the scandal, not the talent or the growth they could have shown. If Chrisean doesn't take a step back soon, she risks being remembered in the same way, not as a mother who rose above her challenges, but as someone who kept spiraling while her child paid the price. Sometimes with Junior right there in the background crying. In one clip, the police even got involved at their hotel in Vegas. Watching them fight while the baby screams just proves she doesn't have her priorities straight. Instead of focusing on relationships, she should be putting her energy into motherhood. And let's be honest, a lot of this looks staged. Chrisean clings to men who embarrass her, post private moments online, and don't seem to genuinely care about her. Bino, for example, brags about giving her money. If she needs $200, send $2,000. That's not love. That's control disguised as generosity. Real love doesn't have price tags attached. Meanwhile, her family is struggling to pick up the pieces. Her sisters have been the ones stepping in, trying to care for Junior, but even they're reaching their limit. At one point, CPS got involved, but people claim Chrisean keeps dodging them by never staying in one place. Her sister even tried to meet with CPS to make sure Junior got help, only for Chrisean to show up, cause chaos, and take him back. The saddest part? When Junior is with her sisters, he seems fine, awake, playful, watching Miss Rachel with his cousins. But when he's with Chrisean, he looks out of it, almost lifeless. That's why people online are furious. They see her choosing men and parties over her son. And then there's the humiliation she brings on herself. Chrisean has been caught on live streams doing intimate acts with Bino, forgetting the camera is rolling. Whether she realizes it or not, these moments get clipped, spread online, and become another reason people stop taking her seriously. It's not about women being freaky, that's private, not something to broadcast when you're already under fire for neglecting your child. At the end of the day, it's heartbreaking to watch. Chrisean is chasing men, clout, and attention while her baby needs stability. Every mistake is out in the open, and instead of proving her critics wrong, she's giving them more fuel. People aren't just disappointed in her choices, they're scared for Junior. And honestly, they have every right to be. Chrisean has once again found herself in the middle of a storm. She announced she was single, comparing her love life to something so broken it can never be fixed. And while she was saying all this, she left her baby with Bino in a smoke-filled room because she didn't have a babysitter. Shortly after, news broke that the two had already split. Honestly, no one was surprised. Rumors now suggest she's moved on to her security guard, but everyone knows the timing isn't random. People have been saying from the start that she would drop Bino the moment Blueface release got closer. Whether she plans to run back to him or not, it's clear she still hasn't let go of that toxic connection. As for Bino, he got what he wanted, attention and clout. Their relationship felt short-lived because he exposed her at every chance. Some say he never loved her, he just used her, and once he had enough exposure, he left. But Chrisean's behavior didn't help either. Instead of showing softness and maturity, she often acted in ways people describe as masculine, competing with her partner rather than complimenting him. And then came the video no one can forget, Chrisean putting Bino's toes in her mouth. For many fans, that was the final straw. The same mouth she kisses her son with, now plastered across the internet in a humiliating moment. Even Blueface has likely seen it, and the embarrassment speaks louder than words. Meanwhile, Junior is always caught in the background of these messy situations. Videos show him crying or restless, while chaos unfolds around him. Chrisean's sisters have already been involved with CPS, but the system struggles to track her because she doesn't have a stable address. She bounces from hotel to hotel, avoiding accountability, and that's how she slips through the cracks. The sad truth is this: Chrisean spends more energy chasing men than raising her son. Junior is already struggling with delays, and instead of giving him stability, she's exposing him to smoke, partying, and questionable environments. People worry about what's happening when the cameras are off, and some even believe things have gone too far behind closed doors. At the end of the day, all of this points back to one thing: Chrisean needs to stop chasing clout and focus on being a mother. Until she puts her child first, every new relationship will be another storyline, another distraction, and another reason people stop taking her seriously.